So when we all first kind of start doing Uber, it's like we just start. We just start and just turn on the app. It's literally whatever time that we have. So if we could start doing it at 12, we start at 12 p.m. If we could start doing it at, 5 in the evening, right after work, we just do it. If we could work super early in the morning, we just do it. We all just start somewhere, There's no real rhyme or reason other than this is the time that I have. A lot of us start part-time. So this is the time before work that I'm going to turn on the app and try to make some money. Or this is the time that I have after work and I'm going to turn on the app and just make some money, Or some of us, just lost our job. We in between jobs looking for other opportunities. So, it's just like we just kind of do whatever, I'm just going to turn on the app, make some money, pay these bills, and that's where it goes. And a lot of people will tell you that, you can only make money if you work in the morning times. You can make money only if you work in the evening time. You gotta do these types of rides to make the most money. You gotta go to these places to make the most money. A lot of people will tell you different things. And that's ultimately what it kind of comes down to. Hello, sir. You literally just get varying opinions. People will tell you different stuff. And it's like, you don't really have a general consensus. Like, in the sense of everybody says one thing. Because all of our experiences are just different. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different way that they work. Everybody has a different strategy when it comes to things. It's just kind of like, whatever. Everybody just does what they do. And that's kind of how we all start. So I can't get mad at you. Just like, it is what it is. We all have different times. We all have different lives. We all have different things going on. So when you turn on the app, it's when you turn on the app. Maybe you got kids, and it's like you got to turn on the app when you don't have to worry about your kids being watched. You got help. Maybe you got a job, as I said previously, and it's like, nah, man, I got to turn on this app only when I get off of work because I be tired, but I'm going to turn it on when I get off of work. Or it's like you turn on the app, like, hey, man, listen, I'm only doing this on the weekends, or I'm only doing this at this particular time. And it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Everybody has what they have going on. So when you ask, like, what is the best time to be an Uber driver, it's like, it's a hard question to answer, honestly. Because you just don't know. None of us really did at first. We all just did how, we all just turned it on and just worked. And figured it out along the way. And that's what it is, In my first couple years, that's what I did. So I would turn on the app and just work as long as I could. And then I would go home and go to sleep and do it all over again. Turn the app on, work, then go home and go to sleep. In that case, I did find a good time, because that was during the pandemic, and I was an early person anyway, so I was like, listen, I want to get this out of the way. I can make $200-$300 before 2:00. I'm doing pretty good. Right? I have the whole rest of my day to myself. Now, that was the intention, but in reality, what happened was I would work that time, and then I'd be tired. I'd be tired or I wouldn't really want to go out because I just worked, you know. I worked, 8, 10, 12 hours trying to get this money. Now I had $300 and it was just like I needed to recharge. And, obviously when you go to sleep, sleeping for 7 hours, I would sleep throughout that evening, and by the time I wake up, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm ready to do it all over again. So, and I mean that's it wasn't always like that. Like, if I wanted to go out, I would wake up, set an alarm or whatever. But it was just like it became a routine, and that's the biggest thing that I want to kind of tell you guys. You got to get into a routine that you can do consistently, something that you are comfortable with. So the best time for you may not be the best time for me. The best time for me may not be the best time for you. But it has to be, if you want to be successful as an Uber driver, you got to do things consistently. Because when you're consistent with it, you can track it. In a sense, I mean, I'm not saying that you could track everything because this is still a business. It is still variable. Sometimes you get good rides, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're in good areas, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you get the right trip, sometimes you get the wrong trips. Sometimes you get nice passengers, sometimes you don't. You just never know, in other words. So to that extent, there is going to be some variability. There is going to be some fluctuation. Not all of the data is going to be 100% accurate. But it's going to be there. When you do things consistently, you start to notice patterns. So for me, my pattern that I've noticed is that in the middle of the day, it's kind of slow. You don't really get that good of rides. For the areas that I like to work, I mean, like, if you gotta be out there, then you stay out there. But if you don't gotta be out there, So, for me, the middle of the day is my rest time, if that makes sense. So I want to go to sleep during the middle of the day. So between like 10 and like 6 o'clock, that's the time that I like to go to sleep. Get some good rest. It's lunchtime. It's kind of peaceful. In my apartment complex, you ain't really got a lot of noise going on at that time. Because, everybody at work. So, it's a decent time, I can nap, sleep. It is a hot time of the day. So, I use it, like, if I could find, like, a little parking garage or whatever, I'm good to just kind of chill around. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch some TV. It's also lunchtime, so, a lot of the restaurants are open. And a lot of food is kind of sort of fresh. So it's a good time to go get something to eat. So for me, that's like a really good time to just relax, chill out, take a break, not do rides. But, I mean, that's how, we all kind of, everybody works differently. But I've found that when I consistently take breaks between that time, I'm fresh and I'm ready to go for the busier times. For me, it's the early mornings and the late nights. Those are the busier times. Those are the times where I could go and get a bigger ride. Those are the times where people are trying to go longer places, for my strategy. Now, for your strategy, if you do short trips, then it makes more sense for you to work during that middle time of the day. If you don't have an EV, well, if you don't have a Tesla with the glass roof, then and your car is tinted, then it doesn't really matter that it's hot outside, because your car is tinted. Because I rent, my car isn't tinted. So that sun be killing me. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, all I was saying was that being consistent is super important. When you're consistent, you can kind of figure things out. You notice those patterns, and those patterns are important because those patterns can help you understand how to be more efficient. Like I said, there's a lot of variability in what we do. So any way that you could get an edge is absolutely important, but it takes that consistency. So what is the best time to be a driver? What is the best time to be an Uber driver? It's either the morning time, the afternoon time, or the evening time. The problem with just giving one is that it depends. Honestly, it depends on, and the real question, it depends on what type of passenger you want. So I know the question is, what is the best time to drive as an Uber driver? But I'm going to answer it with a question. The real question, instead of asking that, is what type of passenger do you want in your car? Like, who do you really want to pick up? Like, so I'm one of those people, I like to work backwards. So when I have a question, I like to work backwards. Maybe it's the engineer in me. Maybe it's because I'm used to like logic and all of that stuff. I love logic. I love philosophy. But like I like to work backwards, you know? So instead of looking forwards in the sense of like, oh, no, is it in the morning? Is it afternoon? I like to look at it backwards. Who is requesting rides super early in the morning? When most people are asleep. You're talking about like, especially if you're talking about like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Who's requesting rides at that time? It ain't me. It damn sure ain't me. I can tell you that right now. I don't need a ride at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's usually, and I say usually, it's usually club goers. People that went to the club and they left their car home because they knew they were going to drink. So who are you picking up? You picking up the club people. And then, you know, you're going to get some airport rides in there. And then you're going to get some early bird people that are going to work. That's generally who you're picking up. If that's the people that you want to take in your car, then the morning time is amazing. The morning time is absolutely amazing. But if you like, listen, I don't really want to deal with the club people because, you know, club people are drunk. Club people are drunk and they like to throw up. And they get rowdy because they're drunk. See, the fun thing about drunk people is they're either super aggressive or super passive. Like, you only get those two. So yeah, it's cool when you get the super passive. They're just quiet. They ain't bothering nobody. They're just there. But then you get those aggressive people, and it's like, yo, I'll beat your ass. Like, you touch me one more time. You know what? You say, talk to me like that one more time. And it's like, what does it do for you? You gonna fight a drunk person, they ain't even gonna remember that they got beat up. But you just got into a fight, you know? So, yeah, you know, but that's what happens when you work that morning crowd. You gotta deal with those drunk people. You gotta deal, and it's usually college students as well. So you gotta deal with the college kids, teenagers. I mean, college adults. You know, that middle time, you just dealing with people going from place to place. Like, I'm at work, listen, just take me to Walmart. I'm at home, just take me to Publix. You know, I'm at home, I'm at work, listen, I need to go from job site to job site. You ain't really doing long trips in the middle of the day. Obviously, there's always going to be some stragglers here and there. This isn't a one-size-fits-all, but I'm just saying in general, in the middle of the day, you're going to get a ton of short trips. So if you like short trips, the middle of the day is your best time. Because that's usually what you're going to get. You know how people complain about $3 and $5 rides? Those are usually in the middle of the day. Between like 12 and 5, 11 and 5, 10 and 5. Can you see why I don't work 10 and 5? Usually, and it obviously depends on where you're working at, how you're working, all of that stuff. But in my experience, that's the middle of the day. And in the evening, you taking people that's trying to go out, or they're trying to come home from work. So you're getting grumpy people. Long story short, they're either super happy or they're super bad because they had a long day of work. And it's like, you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. So, yeah. So, yeah, man, So what is the best time to be an Uber driver? It's completely up to you and what type of people you want to pick up. That's the best time. And if you can answer that question, you can answer what time you should be out. But the more and more you get consistent with the times that you work, the more and more you're going to get better in terms of efficiency. You're going to start learning how to call your paycheck. You're going to be able to say, listen, I can make $200 in the evening, but I can't really make it in the afternoon. Or I can make $200 in the afternoon, but I can't really make it in the morning. You're going to start to learn, like, what's the best time for you and your strategy to be out, But that's the point. That's the point, to get 1% better. And you need that consistency. You need that data. But yeah, with that being said, man, I am out of here. If you're not a part of the Telegram group, you should. The link is in the description. Just click it. It's a Telegram app. Download the Telegram app, hit the link, and you'll be a part of the Telegram group. It's right now, it's for Florida people. But hopefully one day we can expand it and make it for all different states. Trying to build a community here. So yeah, hit that link if you're not a part of the group. And yeah, if you need anything, let me know in the comments. I have answered some comments. I ain't answer all of them, but I have started answering comments, so I'm getting better. But yeah, man, listen, I just want to say I love you guys. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. I super duper appreciate you. Yeah. Deuces.